From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening on this Monday night. We begin tonight with this monster Category 5 hurricane with winds up to 175 miles per hour, now just hours from slamming into the island of Jamaica. Hurricane Melissa, a potentially catastrophic storm, could be the strongest to hit in the island's history. Look at these satellite images tonight showing the hurricane massive in size, its powerful eye perfectly formed there, slow moving. It could bring 40 inches of rain. The storm's outer bands already making an impact on Jamaica. Wind gusts picking up, rough surf slamming the shore, but nothing like what they're about to see. Jamaica's airports now closed. Tourists who did not leave in time will be forced to ride out the storm. Hurricane hunters trying to fly into the eye of the hurricane. NOAA says the turbulence inside was so strong, one of the flights had to turn back. Tonight we have the newest models here, Melissa's track after it hits Jamaica. And we have learned at this hour the U.S. Navy now evacuating 1,000 non-essential personnel, family members and residents from Guantanamo Bay. ABC's Ike Ajachi leading us off from Kingston, Jamaica tonight.
Tonight, families in Jamaica are bracing for what could be the strongest storm on record to hit the island nation. Hurricane Melissa, now a Category 5 storm. Winds 175 miles an hour, lightning flashing in the eye over the warm waters of the Caribbean.
Whew! The Caribbean feels like bathwater right now, which is giving Hurricane Melissa so much more strength, producing up to 13 feet of storm surge in some parts.
Heavy equipment racing to clear drainage ditches. Some areas could get up to 40 inches of rain. Incredible video from U.S. Air Force hurricane hunters tracking Melissa, showing inside the eye wall. One of the flights into the storm had to turn back after hitting severe turbulence. Melissa has already killed at least 6 people across the Caribbean, also causing destruction in Haiti and the Dominican Republic, where officials say nearly 4,000 people are displaced. And the U.S. Navy evacuating 1,000 non-essential personnel, family members, and pets out of Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. Back in Jamaica with airports shut down, Donnelly Gordon on vacation from Atlanta, hoping she'll be safe in her hotel, but taking no chances.
I have my bag. I did secure my passport, you know, in a Ziploc bag, just in case I have to dash.
And Barbara Carter says locals are taking this massive storm very seriously.
She's a monster coming. So we have to ensure that we protect life. And while we will be able to build back homes, we will not be able to get back lives.
David, in just a matter of hours, the eye of Melissa will be coming ashore to the southern edge of Jamaica, affecting the entire island. The National Hurricane Center says its strong winds have the potential for total structural failure, and it'll be even worse at higher elevations. David?
Ike Ajachi and the team there, please stay safe. We appreciate it, Ike. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z, tracking it, of course, as well with us tonight. Ginger?
Hey, David, those hurricane-force winds are only 30 miles outside, but when this makes landfall tomorrow morning on the west side of Jamaica, 30 miles goes far, and then the tropical storm-force winds go well beyond that, almost 200 miles from the center. It looks like a buzzsaw. It's moving northwest. It'll turn north tonight and eventually northeast before making landfall tomorrow morning. We stopped it there 9 a.m. Then it will jet a little faster to the northeast into Cuba, still as a major hurricane, and eventually as a Cat 2 over the central Bahamas. That's for Wednesday afternoon. But behind it will leave 15 to 30 inches widespread. Landslides are likely. Really concerned about the amount of water here, even in Cuba as well. And why it doesn't hit the United States, we still have that fence, that steering mechanism that's going to push it out toward Bermuda as we head through the end of the week. David.
Ginger Z will be watching you first thing in the morning. Thank you.
All clothing is less than $5, $5, factory promotion. Limited time. Hundreds of women's clothing in the store are.
In addition to this hurricane, we're also following the emergency unfolding in Florida. Severe storms leaving entire communities underwater tonight, nearly 20 inches of rain. Victor Akendo now from Florida.
Tonight, entire communities reduced to swampland after record-breaking rain pummeled Central Florida. Up to 19 inches of rain falling in just hours.
Yo, look at the water level!
Roads completely wiped out outside Orlando. This car flipped on its roof, other vehicles submerged.
How are we going to get out of here? Unless you could swim, there was no way to get out.
The saturated ground giving way to this massive washout just steps from several homes. And in nearby southern Mississippi, residents still reeling after 2 reported tornadoes touched down overnight.
Then all of a sudden, boom, all my windows exploded in front of me.
The wall of this apartment building toppling over, Cars buried under large pieces of debris. Stacey Escola's roof caving in as she laid in bed with her daughter.
This is everything that me and her have, and we built this place that we live in, and we're happy here, and now it's gone.
And David, a flood watch remains in effect for some areas. The danger is not over yet. David?
All right, Victor Akendo from Florida tonight. Victor, thank you. There was a dangerous high-speed motorcycle chase playing out on live TV outside Los Angeles today. The suspect hitting speeds more than 150 miles per hour. Matt Guppin tonight from L.A.
Tonight, that harrowing high-speed chase on an L.A. highway coming to a crashing halt. Police saying this armed motorist sped away from a shooting of a San Bernardino County Sheriff's deputy, reaching breathtaking speeds just east of L.A., first exceeding 100 miles per hour, then 130, and even faster. With officers in pursuit, the suspect banked a U-turn, and when he noticed a motorcycle officer on his tail, he cranked the throttle, only slowing to pull out a handgun. You see him rack a bullet into the chamber in full view of the news helicopters, and then he's riding without using his hands. Until an off-duty deputy trying to help swerved into his lane on purpose. The bike smashed, the rider thrown, police swarming. After detaining him, medics there for first aid, the rider even able to sit up, airlifted to a nearby hospital. David, a short time ago, law enforcement said that suspect, that motorcyclist, had earlier this afternoon held a woman at gunpoint, and then he shot a deputy sheriff. That deputy was transported to a hospital, but we have now been told he has passed away. David.
Matt Guppin on this tonight. Thank you, Matt. Tonight, day 27 now, the government shut down, tens of thousands going without pay, including air traffic controllers. They're now setting up food banks at the airport. Jay O'Brien on the Hill for us.
Tonight, tens of millions of Americans feeling the pain of this 27-day-long government shutdown like never before. Air traffic controller shortages triggering delays in Los Angeles and a ground stop in Austin. More and more air traffic controllers calling out sick, forced to work without pay.
All right, drive safe. Have a good day.
Food pantries now popping up at airports for struggling federal employees.
We have a food bank.
For TSA workers, that's got to be alarming to see.
It's sad, it's unfortunate, because they have to go to work and they're not being paid, and they're doing a critical safety function for all of us.
And tonight, fears of a looming hunger crisis as SNAP food assistance, a lifeline for roughly 42 million low-income Americans, is set to run out by the end of this week. In Michigan, Simone Wilkes, a single mom of 2 young boys, worries how her family will get by without federal food assistance.
My stomach dropped because I'm already struggling. I'm already stretching food. It has been days where the kids will eat and I'll just survive off water, because that's what I'll have to do in November.
At this pop-up kitchen serving unpaid federal workers in Washington, D.C., we met dozens fearful the shutdown could drag on for weeks.
You don't have a lot of faith in Congress to end this?
I do not. As much as I would hope that they would end it, I don't see it ending anytime soon.
David, the Senate returned to Washington tonight, but there's no deal in sight to end this shutdown. Meantime, the House of Representatives is out on recess for the 5th straight week by order of the Speaker. Remember, members of Congress by law are still paid even when the government is shut down. David.
Jay O'Brien live up on the Hill for us. Jay, thank you. And with no end to this shutdown in sight, tonight President Trump is traveling through Asia. The president now saying tonight that the U.S. and China have agreed to the framework for a trade deal. And President Trump has also revealed he's had an MRI. Rachel Scott traveling with the president.
Tonight, President Trump meeting with Japan's emperor at the Imperial Palace after kicking off his trip to Asia, dancing along with performers who welcomed him at the airport in Malaysia. It's all leading up to a high-stakes meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping. More than 6 months after he launched his trade war with China, President Trump now says a deal could be at hand.
But nothing has been agreed to yet. How do you feel? But we feel good. I mean, we feel good.
The administration says they've reached the framework of an agreement that covers fentanyl and tariffs and includes a pledge by China to resume buying American agriculture like soybeans and to loosen restrictions on their sale of rare earth minerals, critical for making smartphones and cars.
We're going to have a great talk. I have a lot of respect for President Xi. I like him a lot. He likes me a lot.
As he spoke with reporters on Air Force One, the president also revealing new information about his visit to Walter Reed Hospital earlier this month. At the time, the White House said it was just a routine physical, even though he had just had one 6 months earlier. The president now saying he underwent an MRI scan.
We had an MRI, and in the machine, the whole thing. And it was perfect. Yeah.
Can you say what in particular they were?
You could ask the doctors.
But tonight, we asked the White House, and they did not provide us any information about why the president had an MRI, what the doctors were looking for, and what, if anything, they found. The president has that high-stakes meeting with Chinese President Xi on Thursday. The president had threatened to impose an additional 100% tariff on Chinese imports on November 1st. Today, the president also floating the idea of possibly meeting with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. So far, nothing has been scheduled, but the president said he would be willing to extend his trip here in Asia to make that happen, David.
Rachel Scott traveling with the president. Rachel, thank you. Tonight, the Pentagon is investigating back-to-back U.S. military crashes in the South China Sea. The Navy says a Seahawk helicopter from the USS Nimitz went down during routine operations. An FA-18 Super Hornet, also from the Nimitz, crashing about 30 minutes later. All crew members from both aircraft were rescued. President Trump tonight suggesting the problem may have been, quote, bad fuel. Back in the U.S. tonight, there has been a workplace shooting, a standoff for hours, and word tonight that 2 supervisors have been killed. Here's Stephanie Ramos.
Tonight, the tense hours-long standoff in Cleveland, Tennessee, after a deadly workplace shooting.
Caller advised they heard a gunshot. They've got a female screaming.
The horror unfolding shortly before 10:30 this morning. Gunfire erupting at the Barku Plastics plant just outside Chattanooga. 2 male supervisors shot and killed.
They're advising suspects left in a black BMW, unknown direction of travel.
Police tracking the suspect, who is also an employee, to what is believed to be his home just miles away. SWAT teams swarming the scene. Late today, authorities say the suspect was found dead. David, as authorities ramp up the investigation, no word tonight what sparked the deadly shooting. David.
All right, Stephanie Ramos. Steph, thanks. Tonight, the trial of the former deputy charged with shooting and killing Sonya Massey in her kitchen. What he testified today when asked why he didn't use a taser instead of his real gun. Here's Matt Rivers.
Tonight, the former deputy accused of shooting and killing Sonya Massey while she stood in her kitchen, taking the stand in his own defense.
Sheriff's Office.
Sean Grayson testifying about the night he and his partner responded to Massey's house near Springfield, Illinois. The former deputy telling the jury he grew concerned when Massey picked up a pot of boiling water from the stove.
Away from your hot steaming water.
Away from the hot steaming water?
Yeah.
Oh, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
Grayson says he took the phrase, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus," as a threat, testifying he thought she was going to throw the pot of boiling water on him.
Better not, I swear to God, I'll shoot you right in your face.
But in the body camera video, Massey is seen holding the pot down until the deputy draws his gun. It appears she attempts to hold up the pot to shield herself, the deputy then opening fire.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Drop the pot. Drop
19 shots fired.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
The former deputy asked why he didn't use a taser instead. Grayson telling the jury he had an older model and Massey was wearing multiple layers of clothing, saying he didn't want to take the chance of it malfunctioning.
David, Grayson has pleaded not guilty to all charges. Closing arguments in this case could begin as soon as tomorrow. David?
Matt Rivers reporting. Thanks, Matt. Overseas tonight, there's been a major break after that heist at the Louvre in Paris. 2 suspects are now under arrest in that $102 million theft. Authorities say thieves were inside the Louvre gallery for just 3 minutes, 50 seconds. Authorities tonight still searching for other suspects. They're also investigating whether an insider at the Louvre was in on this. When we come back tonight, the NFL star who has now died just 2 weeks after his emotional plea for a new kidney. Also ahead, the other NFL news, a former MVP arrested and charged with DWI. Tonight, an SUV up in flames, a driver trapped in this car right here, and what they have to do in just a moment. And the exclusive right here tonight, the first person, an American, to ever ski down Mount Everest's most difficult route. You'll get the first look at the stunning video. Will Reeve is with us here tonight.
Food. Is there a better reason to travel? I don't think so. Food doesn't just...
Tonight, a former NFL MVP facing a DWI charge in Texas. Adrian Peterson is in jail tonight after police arrested him in Sugar Land on Sunday. Peterson is accused of driving while intoxicated and unlawfully carrying a weapon. Peterson, best known for his time as a running back for the Minnesota Vikings. This is his second DWI charge this year. Dramatic moments when a bystander rescues a driver from a burning car in suburban Chicago. Eyewitnesses capturing the Good Samaritan pulling the driver from the front seat of this SUV at a parking garage in Schaumburg. On Saturday, police say the driver suffered a medical emergency right before that fire broke out. When we come back tonight, the frozen chicken recall tonight and the loss of an NFL favorite just 2 weeks after he made an emotional plea for a new kidney. To the index of other news tonight, a major chicken recall this evening. Nearly 5 million pounds of ready-to-eat frozen chicken products. Hormel Foods issuing the recall after some customers reported finding pieces of metal inside the food. The company says the metal came from a conveyor belt used in production. Hormel sold the chicken to restaurants, cafeterias, and hotels from February to September. Tonight, the tributes for former New York Jets great Nick Mangold. He died Saturday of complications from kidney disease just 12 days after making that public appeal for a transplant. Jets owner Woody Johnson tonight saying Nick was more than a legendary center. He was the heartbeat of our offensive line for a decade. Nick Mangold was just 41. When we come back tonight, the exclusive, the first person, an American, to ever ski down Mount Everest's most difficult route, the North Face. And you're about to see it right here. Finally tonight here, the exclusive, the first skier to ever ski down Mount Everest's most difficult route, the North Face. The skier is an American. Here's Will Reeve.
Tonight, the history made by an American skier and breathtaking, never-before-seen images from the top of the world. You're watching 50-year-old American Jim Morrison do something unprecedented, even unthinkable. Ski down Mount Everest on its most difficult route, the treacherous north face of the world's highest peak. It's a menacing 50-degree slope, 9,000 feet straight down. Morrison making the successful descent earlier this month, with him a team, including Oscar-winning filmmaker Jimmy Chin. It's all part of a National Geographic documentary about Jim Morrison's death-defying achievement. Both men joining Robin and George on GMA this morning.
Any dangerous moments?
Pretty much every moment over the course of 4 hours. Yeah.
I mean, we call it no-fall zone, which is essentially, you can't make a single mistake.
And their message to everyone on overcoming fear and obstacles in life.
You both have said there is no room, not little room, there is no room for error, and yet you use that fear in a way that was positive.
You learn to leverage fear, because fear can either serve you or it can debilitate you.
When you have fear that comes to you on the top of any big challenge, you have to try to decide what part of that fear is irrational, what part of it can I channel to focus on what the real risks are.
Tonight, the new incredible death-defying images and history made by the American.
It is incredible. You can see more of his history-making descent at natgeo.com. I'm David Muir. I'll see you right back here tomorrow. Good night.